national poll released today shows many of Americans' teens are sleep deprived. They're getting to bed late, and their grades and safety are at risk as they are nodding off at school and behind the wheel. And as Sue Bredding shows us, sleep experts say many parents don't realize the problem. It may not even be their...
Ramon here is one of them. He has to wake up early every day to go to work. However, due to his current lifestyle, he gets very little to no sleep. Did you know after staying awake for more than 24 hours straight, a person will be as about impaired as if they had enough alcohol to be legally drunk in most states?
7:15 a.m. and teens at this Scottsdale High School are arriving with books, lunch in a cooler, and energy drinks and coffee?
Yeah, it's because I'm up late last night from work.
What's your first period class like? What does that look like?
It's a whole bunch of kids asleep.
I admit I sleep in first period too, but it is pretty hard to get up in the morning.
The bell rings at 7:30 a.m. here 5 days a week.
I think if the schedule is later, then kids will be more rested in classes and be able to focus with the teachers easier.
Your brain is another crucial body part that gets left behind when you do not sleep. Brain ability and function quickly deteriorates. The brain works harder to counteract sleep deprivation effects, but operates less effectively. Concentration levels drop and memory becomes impaired. Similarly, the brain's ability to problem solve is greatly impaired. Decision-making abilities are compromised, and the brain falls into rigid thought patterns that make it difficult to generate new problem-solving ideas. Insufficient rest can also cause people to have hallucinations. Other typical effects of sleep deprivation include depression, heart disease, hypertension, irritability, slow reaction times, slurred speech, and tremors.
So, what's the relationship between sleep deprivation and obesity? More than 1/3 of American adults are now obese. Researchers have begun investigating whether sleep deprivation might contribute to obesity.
Lack of sleep is a common complaint for many. Falling asleep involuntarily during the day possesses a very real and dangerous problem. A new study from the Montreal Neurological Institute, MNI, at McGill University demonstrates, interestingly, that sleep-wake states are regulated by two different types of nerve cells. Hey, my name is Dr. Stanford, and I'm a sleep doctor. Most people need between 7 and 9 hours of sleep each night. However, a lot of people don't get that sleep, and it causes sleep disorders. Sleeping disorders can cause weight gain, mental problems, and among other things, it can just shut your body down. So, join us today as we take you on a trip through the sleep process.
To understand sleep disorders, we first have to look at how the body regulates sleep. Researchers believe there are two primary processes in the brain that are responsible for triggering and controlling sleep. The first is neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are chemical messengers that relay signals between nerve cells in the brain. The levels of certain neurotransmitters, such as serotonin and gamma-aminobutyric acid, have been shown to rise and fall in direct relationship to our sleep-wake cycle. Sleep is also regulated by an internal biological clock known as a circadian clock. When photoreceptors in the retina detect darkness, they send signals to the circadian clock, which in turn triggers the production of melatonin, a hormone associated with sleep.
Here we see the student, Prami, struggling in class due to his lack of sleep. He is constantly deprived, and thus so making it hard for him to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Since his nightly habits of studying hard for AP Bio are depriving him of sleep, this means that serotonin and gamma-aminobutyric acid is not making its way from one neuron to the other neuron. This means the neurotransmitters are not getting the messages they require for him to function on all levels. This means that Promi's life will constantly be fatigued until he switches his sleep-wake cycles.
If neurotransmitters or the circadian clock are thrown out of balance, it can be difficult to sleep and can eventually lead to a sleep disorder. During normal sleep, our bodies go through a sequence of events known as the 5 stages of sleep. Each stage lasts from 90 to 110 minutes, and the cycle repeats 4 to 6 times throughout the night. Stages 1 through 4 are called non-rapid eye movement, or non-REM sleep. As sleep progresses through these stages, it becomes deeper, and brain waves, heart rate, breathing, and muscle activity slow down. Stage 5, the REM stage, produces rapid eye movement. This stage is marked by intense brain activity and a rise in respiration, blood pressure, and heart rate. Muscle activity ceases, and the limbs become temporarily paralyzed. This is the stage of sleep when most dreaming occurs. While research is ongoing, scientists agree that all 5 stages of sleep are necessary to maintain good health. But for people suffering from a sleep disorder, the body can't cycle through these 5 stages properly. Scientists believe there may be several explanations for this. One is lifestyle factors. Irregular routines, for example, can affect neurotransmitter levels in the brain. Changes in these levels have been tied to the most common types of sleep disorders, including insomnia, narcolepsy, parasomnias, and restless leg syndrome. Working the night shift and jet lag can both cause disturbances in the circadian clock, which can lead to insomnia. Illness, certain medications, and even traumatic events can also trigger biological changes that disrupt the 5 stages of sleep. In people suffering from insomnia, for example, researchers have discovered elevated levels of the stress hormone cortisol. Stress hormones increase activity in both the brain and the central nervous system, which can cause problems sleeping. Researchers have also identified certain physical characteristics that can lead to sleep disorders. People who are obese, for instance, are more likely to suffer from sleep apnea. Excess body fat around the throat puts pressure on the soft tissue of the pharynx. When this occurs, airflow is restricted, making it hard to breathe and hard to stay asleep. While much research remains to be done, experts are beginning to unlock the mysteries of sleep. Understanding how sleep works and how it can be disrupted is the key to developing better treatments for sleep disorders.
So remember, kids, you too can have a good sleep pattern if you exercise daily, eat right, and make sure to stand for the American Pledge of Allegiance.
What? What does that have to do with sleeping?
Everything. Pleasant dreams.
Don't know what they hate for, I'm just getting my paper. Well, maybe they'll love me more when I'm gone. I don't wanna leave, but I need to. It's such a shame.